Hey guys, I am Hamon D. Glaze, the host and owner of the Redacted Diner, which you can see on Twitch. I will be the host for the 2025 Top 5 of Season 5 of Bytesize. And yes, there is a lot of 5s in there, because we're going to be covering the top 5 best and top 5 meh of that said year. Now, there's not going to be any worse this year, unlike last year, thankfully. And I have to clarify, this is all based on opinion, based on gameplay that I had to go through with each game. But regardless of that, if I haven't covered your game, it is either because I haven't had the time to, like if it's already in my library, or I've already covered it and it's in one of the previous seasons. Just keep in mind, again, this is opinion, it's not a fact. If you like the game that I put in the meh, that's fine. If you didn't like a game that I put in the best, that's also fine. So with that said, let's begin. At number 5, for the most meh, we have Schedule 1. Now hold on, before you start throwing pitchforks and stuff at me, hear me out. So, I'm not saying it's a bad game, it's just meh for me. The reason being, it's at its core, another simulating game. Now, granted, it has a very interesting art style, the mechanics are slightly tweaked and all that, and I do enjoy the game. I even had some fun times with friends playing the multiplayer of it. The thing is, at its core, it is basically a game where you have to do something to make money and unlock upgrades to make more money so that you can become the best of that thing. In this case, it is regarding something that is controversial in a sense. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's a bad design, bad gameplay or anything, it's just because at its core, it is a simulator game, it is meh. So at number 5 for the best, we have 2 games, because they have a similar premise to their main gameplay mechanics. Make money, don't die! The games in question are Buckshot Roulette and Clover Pit. And honestly, for the longest time, before I started editing the video for Clover Pit, I honestly thought that they were like the same creator type of thing. Nope, Buckshot Roulette was made by one person, and Clover Pit was made by a different company and all that. But honestly, you can see where I was going, because it's like, both games have the premise of you're in a situation where you have to play the game in order to win money, or just win in general, and not die by doing that. In Buckshot's case, you basically have to win by killing the host, and in Clover Pit, you win by eventually getting the key that is your salvation. Different types of play, but the same idea. They're both really good, and I definitely still recommend playing them. Like, they're good time wasters, if anything. Like, if you're already, like, even beaten the game or anything, but you just want to, like, waste some time, you can go ahead and do that, because it's, like, that's kind of what I feel like. These are good games that you can, like, waste time with every now and then. So we have the long drive at the 4th most meh because, well, it's just the jalopy with slightly more things, but I'm more interested in jalopy than the long drive because, while the long drive has the ability to shoot enemies and check out random locations and even get better vehicles and all that, that kind of defeats the purpose of the game in a sense. Whereas jalopy, it's like, you could do this with Younger or not, but the whole idea is that you're driving to a location, going through various places, maintaining your car, interacting with some of the locals and all that. In a sense, it's like, it makes you feel like you're on one of those long summer job journeys and all that. By the way, shout out to Summer House for their little game about making buildings and stuff that you pass by and all that. So kind of gave me that. This kind of gives me that similar vibe of, you know, those long journeys you would take at times when you were younger, whether it was a 4-hour or longer and all that. But either way, Jalopy was that. The long drive is basically just similar. It's more silly in a sense and not as relaxing to a degree. Like, it's relaxing if you absolutely do nothing, like you just drive through past everything and all that, but it's like, they kind of expect you to do that, like to stop and check things out, change vehicles and all that, and it's kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to do that though. Like, I'd rather like just have a selection of vehicles you can use and just use that one. And try to maintain it for the most part. But otherwise, that's just it. So it just makes it meh. At fourth best is Atlas, which, despite having aspects that are commonly found in online RPGs and stuff, I honestly say it's a really good game. For one, it has aspects that reminisce of old-time consoles and all that, whereas the gameplay gives me vibes commonly found in online RPGs with the skill cooldowns and such. So it's very nice to play something that gives me the nostalgia of that in that aspect. But other than that, it's very well designed, very well animated. The gameplay makes it satisfying, especially when you finally kill a boss that was being hard on you. And I mean, otherwise, I just love the game. I believe that they're still in development, but I can't wait to see what the next expansion, when it finally comes out fully, like 1.0 release, is like. So, looking forward to it. But as is, it's definitely worth checking out as an early access. Now, third most meh, for the first time that I've ever probably done this, is that it's not one game, it's several that I've covered. Because a lot of them cover the same idea, and that is the simulator games. Tank Mechanic Simulator, Water Park Simulator. I forget if it was this season or the last one. I think it was like Tavern Manager Simulator, like something like that. But either way, it's like all those games are basically the same idea. You open up a thing, you do the job to make money, you use the money to buy upgrades so that you can run the job faster, make more money, and all that. It's like there's not really an overarching story with them per se. Like, some of them have these like little bits that you can do that might be story based, but it's like most of them are just like, oh, you just do the job and that's it. So it's not that they're bad, it's just that, you know, they all have the same mechanic. Granted, some of them do the mechanic a little better, because some of them aren't just you're selling a thing to people. No, you're selling them an day out or something like that, like with Water Park Simulator. But for the most part, it's the same idea. And so that's why they're all meh, because for some, it's like, it's really nice because it's a nice little repetitive thing, but honestly, it gets tedious at times, because it's like, once you reach the end, that's it. The only thing you can do at that point is like restart and do something completely different in a sense, or just do the same thing again for some reason. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say about them. So the third best is actually 2 games again. Because honestly, both of these games are really good in the aspect that they are team-based, cooperative games. Or silly games that you can do funny moments in. Or rather, as some people like to call them, friend slop, which is honestly stupid. in my opinion. The games in question, Peak and Repo. The reason I chose these games specifically is because they both are really fun. I love the concept of like working together but also hindering each other at times because of stupid mistakes and all that. And so, yeah, it's just fun. I love it. It's also gotten great moments with some good friends and all that, and honestly, it brought me to one of my really good friends and wouldn't happen any other way. So, both of these games, while I do have some issues with the current versions of them, considering that some of them have added a couple things that I really feel like need to be tweaked a bit, specifically in Repo, they're good games nonetheless, and definitely are worth checking out. So I'm going to be completely transparent and say that I had, for some reason in the list that I made, put The Long Drive in second place as well as fourth place. So I had to scrap second and choose another game to talk about in this area. So I had to think about it, and the second most meh, in my opinion, was Chuzzle from the PopCap review. Because, in all honesty, I remember very little of this game. Like, I do think I did play it when I was younger, if I actually think about it. But I think it was very little, to the point that it's like I didn't even remember playing it in the actual review video. Because it's a PopCap game, so a lot of them are very simplistic in their mechanics and all that. Like, a lot of these are probably even predecessors to most mobile apps that you've probably played at this point. So, it's like, Chuzzle, I don't even remember anything. I don't even think there's any games that have the same mechanics at this point. So as much as I would like to like leave it alone, it's like Chuzzle is just that much of a meh game, because it's like I don't really remember playing it, and it doesn't really have any effect in today's society from what I've seen. I mean, you're free to prove me wrong by commenting like a game that has the similar mechanics to Chuzzle, but otherwise that's my opinion on it. Alright, to keep in line with the whole transparency thing, technically speaking, this game would also not be on this list. In fact, it would be on the top of the list if it wasn't for the fact that it came out more recently than the game that I'm putting at the top. And that is Silksong, the game that everyone didn't expect to come out this year. Like, that's the other thing. No one expected this. And the fact that Team Cherry came out and said, hey, we're almost done with the game, and it's coming out this year, it broke the internet. One, it destroyed all the memes of it being like no Hollow Knight news or anything. It broke the stores, because once it was released, it was only $20, and many people were freaking hitting up the websites and everything to the point that they were unable to function properly. And it was breaking the people that I would probably say weren't expecting a challenge. Because here's the thing, I don't mind fully that it does the double hits. I don't think they patched it out per se. I think they might have fixed it, but the thing is, I don't mind that there were enemies that did 2 hits. It just meant that you were not skilled enough, or you didn't learn the patterns well enough in order to avoid getting hit. So it's like Hollow Knight was just as hard in certain aspects. Like, there were so many times when I was playing it back in the day that I was just having a hard time fighting certain bosses and all that. And there was nothing I could really do but come back later and try again. Silksong is the same way. So honestly, it's why it's at least number 2, because as much as I want to make it number 1, it's a more recent addition to to the gaming sphere, and I just felt like it at least gets this spot. So before we get into the best and most meh, we're going to talk about the honorable mentions. These were games that were not able to make the list, at least for the top 5. If they were supposed to top 10, these would at least be 6 through 8. With one of them having a caveat to it. So, starting off, we are going to talk about the list, which this one is the one with the caveat if you haven't picked it up, if you haven't already even seen the video for it. The caveat is that this was a playtest, and so what I experienced might change in the time to come as it's developed. And so I can't really say anything else other than the fact that what I experienced was very interesting. I can't really say anything more because if anything, it might change what I experienced. And so I'm not saying I'll probably make another review video for it when it comes out, especially if it's changed. But if it does come out and they change things like how the repairing things worked, or they change how the puzzles are done, or any other type of thing within the game, then it'll be aged like wine in a sense. Rather, well, bad wine anyway. So keep that in mind, that that's the only one that has a caveat right now, considering. And so the second one is Date Everything, which I'm not gonna lie, I was really impressed by it. Like, from using a really good 3D environment to establish locations and all that, to the fact that they were able to get so many voice actors to partake in it, and not just like some third party type things. No, they got like some really good ones in there, like Matt Mercer, the freaking Gaspacho. It's been a while, so I can't really name all of them off the top of my head at this point. But they got many voice actors, one that they will recognize whether you watch certain shows from in certain countries or you've played certain games and all that. And if you recognize their voice, then that's like a nice little it's like a little Easter hunt in a sense, if you're gonna look for them and such. Like, part of me was kind of surprised that Aaron Hansen wasn't in this. Like, he's been in some other stuff with visual novels and all that, so I was kind of surprised he wasn't in this one, in a sense. But regardless, it's still a visual novel, so I can't really give it that much, because I'm not really the visual novel type of guy. Like, I've played Monster Prom and had fun with that, but that was because that one also had a multiplayer aspect to it. And so I can't really see it being any higher than where it would have been if it was a top 10, which would be 7th. And so that leaves the 6th place, which would have been Overthrown. This one was the most fun for me, because this one basically took the whole idea of city simulator / manager / whatever you want to call those kind of games where you build a town and try to maintain it and all that, and flipped it on its head in terms of how you approached it. Because rather than doing an overhead look like most of these games, this one gave you the third person perspective. Like, you're not just an entity trying to build the thing, you are literally a royalty building a town on the ground and even defending it yourself at times. Like, whether it's from bandits or wild animals and such, like, it's up to you to do that type of stuff. And so that honestly made it awesome. Like, if it was anything else, I probably would have put it lower, because it's like, it has the RPG elements in it, but it's mostly focused on the city sim stuff. and thus it's like I really loved it. And the fact that at this point it is now at 1.0, I believe, with so many new updates since when I reviewed it, including new monsters, new mechanics, and all that. It's like, just like with the lift, I'm probably not going to make another video regarding it, but it is so good. I definitely will recommend checking it out if you're one of those folks that likes a city sim management thing, but also want to have something a little more hands-on in that aspect. It is especially funny to pick up a sawmill still and run around with it, chopping down trees with it. Like, it makes it so satisfying watching that. But yeah, all these games, while they are good in their own ways, unfortunately couldn't make it. But now we just talk about what did make it. So the fifth most meh game of 2025 is kind of unfair at the same time, but it's support. It's Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the game. I remember as a young child playing the game. I talked about this in the review. I played the game, did this thing where I would go in the Naboo area and watch the giant fish swim back and forth and all that. The problem is, since this is a direct port, nothing is fresh. Nothing's new-ish. Like, it's not like the Destroy All Humans remaster thing, where they took the game and gave it a fresh coat of paint type of deal. No, this is just literally just, they took the coding and all that from the N64 era and put it on the computer. That's it. Like, there's not even like a proper like thing to show like where you could change like controls and all that. I had to figure out how to get the thing even to boost and all that, so take that for what it's worth. So honestly, as much as I love it, it's just meh because it's nothing but a port. So, the best game, in my opinion, of 2025, I'm kind of biased on. Like I said, Silksong technically could have gotten this. But my personal bias prevents me from it because this is like, I love this series ever since I first started it back in the day. And let's be honest, they really did good this year with it. Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, let's be frank, the mechanics that they put to the weapons and all that is really good. The different characters and all that are nice. The fact that some of them are from older games is really nice touches and all that. But what really sells it is the fact that the worlds that you go into, not even just from like going from the little outpost you're at or the village and all that, the fact that everything is interconnected and is a living ecosystem is just so beautiful. Like, I'm not even like joking. Like, the fact that it's like you start off in like a desert area, and that after the great havoc time and all that, it just blooms into this beautiful fertile grassland area for the most part, like in one specific area, but still, like, the fact that that happens and all that, the fact that you go to the other areas and it's like, you know, things change in time after certain things, like things get bleak, things get blossom, things, all kinds of things, depending on all that. The monsters come and go and move more naturally. They, you know, the fact that they have turf wars and all that, like, everything is just so beautifully done in this game, and I will always recommend these games because Monster Hunter, more than just hunting monsters, is a whole beautiful game that about with nature and all that. So oh my gosh, I really cannot say enough about this. It's like, it is the best game, in my opinion, of 2025. And that's hard to say, because it's like, there were a lot of contenders, Silksong being one of them. So, yeah. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching this final episode of Season 5. But I do have to reiterate, this is simply my opinion, not fact. If you like the game, that's fine. If you dislike the game, that's also fine. If I haven't covered your game, that's because either it's going to be in Season 6, or it's going to be in one of the previous seasons, as I've probably already covered it. However, with all that said, once more, thank you so much. Once again, I am Hamon Deglazed. I run and host the Redacted Diner, which you can find on Twitch. However, if you want to see more stuff that I do, you can check out TikTok for the animacs that I've done. You can check out Blue Sky for the art I've made. And if you wish to support me in other ways, you can check out my Ko-fi, where you can commission me for art and such. Or, well, after you followed me on Twitch, you could probably also subscribe to the channel so that you get a whole bunch of nice little perks and such. But, yeah. Otherwise, I want to thank you all so much for watching once more, and hope to see y'all next season. Bye!